The start of the game was outstanding from Arsenal's perspective. You also have to say that on the other side, Liverpool started the game awful. They played right into the hands of everything that Arsenal and Mikel Arteta would have wanted them to do. Not only were they slow in the possession, they're taking way too many touches on the ball. Just 1-2 touch, 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touches. McAllister turning the ball over. Gravenberch turning the ball over. Alexander-Arnold turning the ball over in a bad area. And it's happening all over the midfield, which then feeds into exactly what Arsenal were trying to do. Now we're forcing a turnover. Now we're going. The crowd believes that we're capable of this. Mikel Arteta is running down the sidelines. Everything is happening on the terms that were set by Arsenal, and Liverpool never really settled down, certainly in the first half. The first 20 minutes of the second half was a different story from Liverpool's perspective. To the point of Alexander-Arnold, in that first half, there is a sequence midway through the first half in which Martinelli grabs the ball right around the midfield stripe. And there is not even an attempt. I understand if you're a bad defender, okay, and I suppose we will accept this about Alexander-Arnold, but there isn't even an effort, an attempt to defend Martinelli. Martinelli didn't even have to make a move. Didn't even have to drop with a shoulder or something, step over, do something, force him into an area. Nothing. He just ran right by him, and that now forces the situation that Stevie's talking about, where other players have to pull themselves out of position, and it all creates a whole chain of events. Konate gets himself out of position. Van Dijk now has to cover Konate, and everybody comes across, and there's always going to be a space. And that's a space that Arsenal were taking advantage of time and time again, certainly in the first half.
Luis, what's epitomised Liverpool's brilliance of late? And we talk about this, is their directness. Like, as Ali was saying, it was all very kind of sideways today. It's almost as if they decided to change things. I don't know why they did for such a big match.
Yeah, I think the intensity that we saw when they play against Chelsea wasn't there. The ideas, the arguments that they provide, they were not there at all. We saw a totally different Diogo Jota in the games against Chelsea. The same with McAllister into the middle. The situation, of course, is totally different. When you guys talk about Konate and Alexander-Arnold, that you can kind of get away when you play against Wolves, or you can play against other teams there where Konate can cover that space of Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold goes there to do some different jobs. But when you play against a team that is so well organized, that it's sitting at the back, that the spaces in between the players is just around 10 meters, where if you're going to control and you're going to show that you're going to face another player, they had the idea and they knew what they have to do. We're going to open up, we're going to take Liverpool into pieces, and when they are trying to come against us, we are going to defend in a very deep block, but we're going to have speed players to go in a counter-attack like when they score in the third one. So the arguments that Liverpool provide in the second half, they were not the one that we've seen so far from Liverpool. So maybe it's because it was a day. I think the manager mentioned it, that today from the first minute we saw that something was wrong, that the team wasn't in the right shape. And actually you saw what happened in the first 45 minutes, no intention. Jurgen mentioned only one shot on target, and you could see the ideas were not there at all in the last third. So in the end, when you play against a top side that is Arsenal, of course you're going to get short. And today it wasn't the Liverpool that we've seen, and of course the 3 points went to the Arsenal side.
Stupid question time.
Oh, here we go.
How much of a miss was Salah, Szoboszlai and a fit Nunez?
Well, to be honest, you can't. You're always going to miss real players. You're always going to miss your best players. And up until this game, Liverpool have compensated for missing Mo Salah. And I think a lot of the reason that they've compensated is because the middle three have gotten them the ball, and you've had Nunez playing through the middle. That's why you've been able to cover for Salah. But when you lose Szoboszlai and you put Gravenberch in, and you lose Nunez and you put Gakpo in, that changes. That completely changes the whole complexion. The drop-off from the two that you would play to the two that you do play, and I'm not blaming this on these two players. I'm just saying that the drop-off is too big when you're playing against Arsenal and when you're playing against a game that has title contenders. It's too big a drop-off. Now, you cannot say that Liverpool were anywhere close to what they should be, but at the same time, when you play with players who are not as good as the ones that they're replacing, then unfortunately today the drop-off was way too much.
And the drop-off is not only about the level of play, Stevie. I think in those players that you're mentioning as well, is the drop-off is in the intensity and the personality of Liverpool changes dramatically. One thing is to talk about, well, can this guys complete a pass from here to there? And then I think a different conversation is the sort of energy, identity, personality of Liverpool that they have with the players that Stevie just mentioned. So Darwin Núñez, whether you like him, love him, whatever, you know he's going to run for you. And he is going to lead the front line. And so he's going to press the defenders. And he's going to harass Jorginho when he comes and tries to get the ball. All those things weren't exactly happening today from Liverpool, which then allowed Arsenal the freedom to have players turning in areas in which usually they don't have that time. And so Odegaard is cutting the ball back. Jorginho looks like he is a world beater. They were afforded the time that Arsenal did not afford Liverpool. Today, the personality of Liverpool was different than what we have seen in the past.
But yeah, it was certainly uncharacteristic. But then again, you know, Martinelli's just such a pest. He's such a pest, you know, constantly for 90 minutes. He forces these errors. And, you know, when he opened his legs up in the first half and put the other centre-half, Konate, under pressure and put the burners on him, you know, sometimes that creates doubt throughout their team. And so that's the type of player Martinelli is, and they're the types, you know, of mistakes that he can get out of defenders because he's just so relentless.
Luis, any problem with Arteta's celebration?
No, not at all. I mean, I'm not sure if I would celebrate differently or I would stay the same. I mean, we are talking about, you know, that there are small margins and they are really, really a thin line of winning a competition that they've been missed for such a long time. That, of course, he knows what it means to win against Liverpool at this exactly moment where Liverpool comes for a fantastic role with a lot of confidence and being in a cruise mode. So I totally understand that he celebrates the way he wants and he's done well. So nothing to say about it.
Kieran, Stevie said he wants to trip him up.
I'd love to just give him one of them.
Stevie, why does it wind you up?
I don't like coaches doing all that.
We've seen Klopp do it though, haven't we?
Yeah, I don't like when he does it
right.
either. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think in situations you have to understand the guy sitting on the other side, and there's not one of us wants the other guy to be doing that, and so that's why you can't do it. And whether it's Klopp or anybody else, because you want to go and smash them. I'm just telling you.
Let's take a look then at what this result means regarding the title.
Well, how do you feel about it, Stevie?
As it stands there, Manchester City to defend their title 6-4 on. Liverpool still big favourites ahead of Arsenal, 2-1. Arsenal coming in at 13-2. You take a look at it, of course, 5 points separate the top three. However, if City win both of their games in hand, then Manchester City will be top of the table in action against Brentford. Does this hand the initiative to Manchester City, Kieran, or just give more hope to Arsenal?
I mean, I think it just spreads the board a little bit. I mean, it's exciting for the title race. So that, you know, if they can keep it up for another 2 or 3 games, I don't think we would have seen a title race like this for quite a while. So I'm happy that they've won today, you know, because it's Arsenal. But I'm also happy that they've, you know, opened it up a little bit to make it more of an exciting campaign. That being said, I still think that it's City's to lose just purely because of the form that they're in, and they're not a normal team in my opinion. They're a super team. So I still think, you know, City are in the driving seat. But, you know, it's still a long way to go. And you know, sometimes a game like today can really change things.
I'm not buying this whole thing that Kieran's just... It's just for the excitement of the Premier League and the title race.
Kieran's just a man of the people.
Oh, yeah. So he wouldn't take a boring title for Arsenal. He just wants to be exciting for everybody. Get out of here.
That's it. I texted my boy and I said, who's a Manchester City fan, I said, who do you want to win today? He said Arsenal.
Absolutely. Well, you asked Shaka yesterday.
Yeah.
What's the best result for City? And every single one of us said Arsenal winning. No question. And that hasn't changed. It's in City's hands.
Yeah. They have it in their hands, which of course they didn't going into this.
Correct.
Shall I ask you the percentage question? Yeah, I'm going to ask you the percentage question.
Percentage of?
How would you chop it up, those three teams, to win the league?
All right, here we go. Quick math.
Well,
Get your
I'm
maths.
deciding,
Out of all of them, I can't ask Kieran. He doesn't know what day it is.
between how big and how small to make it, because there's no question City are the favourites.
Okay.
So
Here we go.
if I say 50 City, 25 Liverpool
Yes.
and Arsenal.
That's about right, yeah.
I think that's probably...
Kieran, do you agree?
I would say 50 City and then 30-20.
30-20 to Arsenal, obviously, yes, as well.
Just for Stevie. Just for Stevie.
Because he won again.
Luis, how are you divvying this up?
I'm going to go for 50 for Liverpool. Manchester City still need to win the two games. Yeah, it's a fantastic team. And I still thinking that there is going to be a lot of games that we are going to see them struggling and dropping points. So still a long way to go. Remember that it's Champions League competition coming soon and European competition for Liverpool in this case. But I think that they are going to be dropping points. So I'm going to go for 50 for Liverpool, 30-20.